The Cup Club changed our lives, sisterhood, support, and fixing each other's crowns. This reunion, it's where the magic started.
All right. Welcome back to Who's Sitting at Your Table. I'm your girl Cheese, and today we're doing something extra special. We're going to go behind the scenes and back in time with a reunion of the Cup Club, the powerhouse group of women that started it all. Joining me and my co-hosts today, Toni and Sue, who were the original OG Cup Club queens. Also, our special guest, the one and only Jessica Mayer, another original Cup Clubber. And get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for some truth, laughter, and a little Cup Club magic. So, to begin with, we're going to loosen up with a little light rapid fire. I want a name, your go-to coffee or cocktail order, and your personal motto in 5 words or less. I'm going to have Toni kick us off, then Sue, then Jessica. A go.
All right. I do love my chai tea, and I drink it iced or hot. But if we're talking cocktail, my new favorite is Carajillo. It's a Spanish liquor coffee drink made from espresso. Yummy. So that's my favorite.
Your motto.
Living present. That's my motto.
Awesome. So I'm Sue, nicknamed Suey, and I'll go straight to my favorite alcoholic drink is champagne or bubbles. Never turn those down. And I don't drink a ton of coffee anymore. I do make a chai tea with my own protein, with my protein powder.
Oh, I
So
love
that's
that. I'll have to try that.
So I'll have to share with you that. And then one of my little mottos is live and let live. And I have it tattooed in Russian on my leg.
Love it.
I'm Jessica, and my favorite coffee drink is a cortado. My alcoholic beverage of choice is Angel's Envy, bourbon on a rock.
Oh,
And my life motto is own your shit.
that's a great
Love
one.
it. Love.
All right, ladies, way to get the party started. We're going to slip into segment 2, which is going to be all about what is exactly the Cup Club and how did it come to life. We're going to ask Toni to break it down for the listeners.
Yes,
So, Toni,
Cup Club. So for me, during the time that Cup Club actually came to life, I guess you can say, was a time where I was having difficulty in my life, in my marriage, actually. And I needed the support of my sisters. And when I was at a coffee shop with another friend, which was Cup Club person 4, who's no longer with our group, but we started chatting and she was having very similar things going on in her life. And I said, we need something to fill our cup. And we kind of looked at each other and said, oh my God, let's start a support group and let's call it the Cup Club. And so that's how it started. And then I reached out to Jess and Sue, who are dear friends of mine. And we got together, all of us. Yeah. And then the Cup Club formed where we would meet once a month. We can get into some of the details of what we did in the Cup Club. I'm going to let Sue take on that next step. Sue, you're next to talk about how we started the Cup Club in terms of what we use as a format. I'll let you do that.
Okay. Yes. I was, of course, when Toni called and brought this to my attention, I said, yeah, absolutely. Definitely love the idea. We would meet once a month. We would pick whether it was a restaurant. We all hosted. We've done sleepovers.
Yeah.
Which were fun.
It was PJs and Piggies, remember?
Yeah.
The Piggy pills and pillow fights.
Yeah. And I believe we had kind of like a rough outline. My favorite part, honestly, was in January, at the beginning of the year, we did our visionary boards. And I think it was Toni who mentioned this bag wall map. So if you Google bag wall map, it's very colorful. There's quadrants and they're all colored and they're all detailed. So one might be finances and money, and others travel, and others family. And so I have personally continued, we would make these boards together and they were so fun and so glamorous, I felt, and right up my alley, love the bling. And so I do one every year, whether it's by myself or with friends. And so I just pulled mine down this year.
I was going to say, pull it up.
It's all blingy.
Look at how pretty that is.
The different colors. And so it's just something pretty to hang in your house or in your room or office or wherever. And it just keeps your goals out there. It's important. I feel like it's important to, have your goals written down. It's even prettier to look at aesthetically and it's fun. You can put pictures and weave stickers and whatnot. Yeah. So we did that. What year did we start that again?
Around 2008, we did it for 5 years. So I'm going to touch a little bit on that Bagua map. That's a feng shui. It's like a Chinese feng shui map. And basically it's art of placement. They believe in the Chinese philosophy is each section on that map represents something: health, family, career. It's something we use as guidance on the actual vision board. So it helped us out, helped us plan our map. It was really cool. Right. And then on that vision board, halfway through the year, if we changed our minds on what we wanted, it's like, you know what? I kind of actually changed my mind. Now that I'm here, I think I want to try something different. And it was flexible. So you can make the change if you needed to.
That was one of my favorite parts. But obviously getting together with you girls and supporting each other was awesome too.
Jess, you've been there from the beginning. In one word, how would you describe what the Cup Club meant to you?
I would say definitely supportive, but I'm gonna give 2 words. Accountability.
Yes.
Accountability was really important because we all can create goals. We could do vision boards, but when it comes down to it, we supportively held each other accountable.
Yep.
It was a safe place. It was a safe place for us to come. We could bring our good, bad, and ugly, and we would be there to support each other. We all had bad days. We had good days. And the thing was, is I could not wait. And I'm going to speak for myself, but I think that they would agree that it was like a place where I could not wait. You guys were my sisters. I couldn't wait to share, whether it was something I needed advice on, if it was something that I needed to share because I was excited that was going on in my life. The Cup Club really filled my cup, literally.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. It was such a great idea for us to have started that. And I feel blessed to be a part of it for sure.
One of the things I want to go ahead.
I was just going to say it's remarkable that you not only started it, but like along the lines of accountability, saw it for 5 years. It was, an ongoing, wonderful experience.
I was going to say that the Cup Club women today need a support system, right? We all had some sort of part of us that brought something to the table, right? Tying in who's sitting at your table, right? And the thing about the table is there's different things that can happen in your life where the chairs can come and go. Who comes to your table will stay longer and sometimes leave and then come back. Some will leave and never come back, right? But we take a lesson from each person sitting at the table. The metaphor of filling your cup, but who's sitting at your table is the metaphor of who you surround yourself with and who brings you light, who helps you shine, and who you help shine as well. And women, we really need that, right? And so what we found, all of us found in this Cup Club was that it was a support system.
Right. That we helped fix each other's crowns.
Adjusted and fixed them. Yeah.
And there was no jealousy. There was no competition. There was no insecurities around each other. So we were there truly to support each other because I feel like women, especially these younger women growing up that just don't know
sisterhood.
Everything.
They don't have it.
Yeah, especially because with social media today and people aren't on the phone, they're not getting together, younger generation anyways, isn't physically getting together and talking, right? They're texting and they're sending memes. So I feel it's important that women know that there are great women out there and that they don't have to settle with a friendship if that person's not fixing their crown.
Exactly. So. I was going to say to Jess, like, what were your favorite moments? So just let's reminisce, right? This is our reunion, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say were the most favorite moments of our Cup Club?
I mean, one of the moments that pops in my head is doing the vision boards and then kind of like having it there. And let's say you may not look at it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And then all of a sudden you look at it and like you see that something like happened. So like manifesting.
Yeah.
That was always fun. And then sharing with you girls and exactly what Sue was saying is just a place where you can be yourself. You can be vulnerable. You can be open. You can be raw. And there's like no judgment, no competition, no drama. Just pure sisterhood.
Well, one of the things I want to say too on the Cup Club vision board. So for example, if there was like, you wanted a new job, right? You would share, one of us would share, okay, I'm wanting to do a career change and these are the things I'm looking for. And we would encourage and support and provide any sort of assistance, contacts or whatever we could to help get that person to that goal. But we also, it wasn't just career, it was family, it was health. We would select fun runs, physical fitness. We would do things for family or like Jess, she's a godmother of my son, right? So we would do things around my son or one time I really, really enjoyed was one time, and I'm trying to remember what that charity organization. So I think you got us connected with it. It was a charity where it was women that were, I think, homeless women trying to find jobs. And so this place took in clothing. They would get suits together so they could go out and find jobs to support their family. And we did the gift wrapping for Christmas, remember? Gift wrapping. Do you remember that? Was it you that got us connected on that, Sue? I believe you did.
I can't remember. Was it you, Jess?
I can't remember.
I do. It was a while ago, but I remember that. And then
we did a lot
also,
of really good things like that, supporting the
Yeah.
community. And
I remember also, Sue, you also connected us with this one gal that would collect gifts for underprivileged children.
Oh, my friend
Yeah.
Natalie.
Yes.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, we would do that at Christmas time for sure because these kids didn't have Christmas at all. It wasn't for people
So
like us.
philanthropy was a part of it. And that's, Sue, that's kind of something that you kind of led. That's what you're doing now. You're retired and your philanthropy is what drives you and motivates
Right.
you. So that was part
Right.
of our Cup Club was we did encourage philanthropy.
Right, exactly. No, and I think, starting for me, I'll never forget. I think we were in Pleasanton where I was living and we were having dinner and it was 2011. And I think I even teased you guys a little bit like, hey, there's going to be something coming up. I can't talk about it yet.
Yes, I remember. Yep.
So the time that I could talk about it, because it was a crazy idea. Like my mom thought I was nuts. I mean, people,
It was
God knows,
a big idea. It was a very,
big
a
and
big
crazy.
idea.
And who knows, at least my mom told me the truth. I don't know. So there's probably other people who didn't tell me what they were thinking, but I'm sure if my mom thought it was crazy, a lot of people thought it was crazy. So I was a little anxious, but then I knew I had a safe place with you girls. So when the time was right, I was super excited to share that we were starting from scratch, indoor trampoline park. It happened so quickly, really in 6 months. It's funny because it opened up in 2011 this month. And I saw a memory pop up.
Wow.
I think Toni, myself, and maybe Joelle at Rock and Jump in the lobby. I was running around working and it was just like super exciting to have you guys be able to share that with.
On his 5th birthday there.
remember
Yeah.
that. And that's why we were there. He's 18 now,
that's right.
by the way.
I know, it's so crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that just popped up and, that was fun to be able to share that with you guys and to
Yeah.
get the support. And it was awesome. So I'll never forget that. I think we're in a restaurant in downtown Pleasanton when I kind of shared that
Just
info with you
great
guys.
things came from the Cup Club also gave us healthy mindset. It gave us confidence. It gave us trust. It gave us true, not being afraid of being truly authentic and bringing our shit to the table, good or bad, right? And we were there to support each other. We loved each other. We cared about each other. We would pick fun coffee shops to go sometimes and we'd hang out and people would come by. What are you guys doing? Remember that?
Yeah.
I do.
The Cherub. Remember the Cherub in Alamo? I
Yeah.
think it's not there anymore.
Oh, that's
remember
like
the
so cute.
Alamo.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, no, but it was in Alamo, a cute little coffee shop called the Cherub, and we would go there, and people would be curious. What are you guys doing? We would sit there for a couple hours just laughing and enjoying each other's company. I really do miss that. I do miss that whole thing that we did, and we would leave. We were, oh gosh, it's 2 hours ago. So we got to get back to our life, right? And we would get in the car and we'd be texting each other crazy. My God, this was so much fun. I can't wait to see this. And I can't wait for you to tell me about what happens here or whatever. We were texting each other because we were on such a high when we left. It was amazing.
Your face is lighting up, Toni, as you're talking about it.
No, because it was such fond memories. I was going through a time and then I went through my career. I doubled my income. I moved out to a place I never thought I could afford. I was able to separate and get my divorce. There were so many things that were positive for me that happened. No, divorce is not a positive thing, but it was, my ex and I needed to do that. And it was a good thing for both of us. And yeah, it was a healthy thing. I did, mind you, it's because I decided I wanted that divorce to end. Didn't mean I was going through sadness. Didn't mean that I didn't need my girls to be there for me, to support me, because now it was an end of something, right? And I had to go through some mourning of an end of something, right? So that's what you guys did for me, and I cherish that partnership, the friendship, the support, the sisterhood, the love, everything. I appreciate everything. I've never forgotten about it. In fact, I started writing a book, which I'm stuck in one chapter, and that was the person that left. I'm at that chapter that I need to finish. Yeah. And I had actually written the chapter, and then my computer crashed, and I lost all of what I written. It's like that's just the universe telling me that wasn't the right one. So
or you have to or maybe you have to revisit it and go through a little bit more to get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have a question. I want to know a little bit from Jess. What, for example, do you feel was one of the challenges that you faced on the other side of it that you feel it helped you grow the most?
That's a great question.
Like moments at the Cup Club. Is there anything in particular that stands out?
I would say a big part, I would say probably just being able to like look at myself without judgment and be able to step outside my comfort zone and grow within myself and try new things without
fear.
without fear.
Confidence
No,
and yeah,
exactly.
and you know,
And I
wanna-
think a lot
wanna
of that
add-
was just trusting that I had support around me, but
Yes.
also, people that cared about me and loved me that could push me a little too because they knew I could do it, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to
Yeah.
add something to Jessica's story too, and I want her, to know that I see you, girl. When you also went through a divorce, and then you actually picked up and moved to a completely different state, right? You knew one person there, so that was that. And then you did a career move because you had actually taken a break for work when you were you kind of did some, I think you did notary and but you didn't really have this really truly steady job that you were happy with. And then you moved away and you got this another career doing, that's doing a whole nother thing that you've never done before. And really in some direct sales aspect.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing thing that you did.
Brave. I would say brave.
Brave. Yeah.
Right.
Brave.
Yeah.
Right.
I think,
So
I think just what comes to mind as well is just being, just the Cup Club has provided a foundation within ourselves that allows us to be brave, be courageous, to trust the process. And part of that process was me having to recreate my identity. I kind of lost myself in my marriage. And so when I went through my divorce, I had to kind of recreate who Jessica was.
Right.
Yeah. And that was kind of part of the career, the move, and all of that. So, yeah.
And let's just talk about that, right? Divorce is a very scary thing, right? Internally, as a woman, we start to doubt ourselves. We start to we losing the confidence in ourselves or whatnot. And I think the Cup Club has given us like that strength, that courage to know who the fuck we are, right? Right? We're unfuckwithable, right? Katya, I hear you.
Yeah.
Unfuckwithable.
I wish I had the Cup Club in person when I was going through my divorce.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I didn't. But I had, obviously good friends near and far, but it would have been really nice to have had this local when I was going through mine, because I know what you guys all went through. And, it was a little more challenging for me and a lot of people. I kicked off my table, kick off my table, and still do. And that's okay.
That's boundary. We learned that in Cup Club. All the stuff that we learned, you learned.
They had a
yourself.
purpose, right? They had a purpose when they weren't in your life. It was just,
But the
time for new
But the
people
Cup Club
or
helped too. But I think that helped shape your, like you said, foundation.
Like a
I think you
blueprint.
said foundation.
A blueprint.
This
I
helped
love that.
The foundation.
For sure. It helped all of us, I believe. Yeah.
And still helping us. Yeah. There's so many times
Exactly.
I'm like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of the Cup Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I still drink out of my little Wonder Woman.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. I you know what?
love that.
I went through my my kitchen, and you know how you get rid of stuff and donate. I found I could not get rid of my little Superwoman.
No.
We have this amazing. I think, did I get you guys those? I can't remember. Did we all buy them separately? I can't
No,
remember.
I think you gave them to us.
Yeah, there is a really cool mug, and it's blue.
I know I should have had
It's got
mine.
Wonder Woman on it. It's amazing.
love it.
My favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite mug.
Okay, I have a question for Sue now. Obviously there's book clubs, there's all kinds of different brunch groups out there, women supporting women in different ways. What would you say? I would say this is a two-part question. You guys can all kind of chime in, but for Sue to start, the Cup Club was different. It was something different about it. What do you think, this is my first question, made it sacred? And then I want maybe you guys to chime in on how others might be able to get their own Cup Club going. I'm near tears thinking like I could have used this in so many stages of my life.
Oh,
I was there. No offense, I didn't get the invite.
You didn't. You moved away. You moved away,
just
and
kidding.
everybody here was local.
Yeah.
And that's,
Just
I guess
kidding, but-
Today you could do virtual, right? I guess.
now you
That's
do
a good
virtual.
point. That's a good point.
Right.
So Sue,
Yeah, that's another
Yeah.
segment.
yeah.
No.
Sue, what made it unique?
Yeah, no, I think honestly, what made it sacred was, and we touched on this before, is that the biggest thing is we didn't have jealousy towards each other and we weren't envious of each other. We were just genuinely supportive. And that's kind of like what I've been going through over the past, say, 5 years. I feel like the common denominator issues are like insecure people who just don't want you to be happy, for whatever reason. So we wanted each other to be successful. We wanted each other to be happy. I mean, these two went through a divorce during this. Like, we didn't want them to go be miserable. We wanted to support them and lift them up, fix their crowns. And we did that. And I think just it was unique too, because we were in person. We weren't online. We were able to give each other the hugs, wipe each other's tears, all of that. You know what I mean? And share all of that. And so I think anyone can do this. Just be real selective maybe on who you pick for your little, and we kept it small. We only wanted it, right, to be 4 people.
It was 4 of us. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
made it more intimate
Intimate.
and
Yep.
trusting
And that was
each
purpose.
other and being able to trust each other.
And not easier to coordinate. It's hard enough to get a podcast together, my loves.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say the fact that we had women that we were fixing each other's crowns constantly, that is such a huge thing. And I think that's what made it so sacred, right? You can go to these book clubs of 20 women and not even go over the book, and who knows what's going on with each other's lives, but we knew what was going on with each other's lives inside and out. We're there.
Yes, and
support.
all of us wanted it. Like, you have to have somebody that's dedicated, that loves herself enough to make it happen. You can't get somebody that's flaky, somebody that
Was
won't
it
commit.
every month?
It was every month.
At the same
Every
time? Like, was it
No,
on the
it was,
same
we
time?
coordinated. We would say at the end of the cup club, we would say, okay, let's look at our calendars. We booked
Yep.
that date. And then I would say, Jess, I took notes this week. So you're in charge of picking the place and then taking notes next time. The person that took notes would email everybody all the notes of everything that we talked about and the commitments and, holding each other accountable. That person was responsible for that part.
And then we had
Did you have, like-
action to do within that time before we met again, which
Yes.
is
Right.
action.
homework?
Yeah, homework.
Right.
Yeah, do the work.
So it was like an outline you followed every time?
Every day.
Where did you come up with the outline?
I think I did. I came up with,
You did.
I just came up.
Chat GPT.
We didn't have chat GPT then, right? So I just kind of did, just the basic person's name and then your goals, commitments, and next steps. And then that was it. Each person had a section, right?
Just like a salesperson.
Yes. Like a salesperson, right? Like, what am I going to get out of this, right? What are you going to give me,
And who exactly is the decision maker?
You were your own decision maker, but you had to answer to the group if you didn't,
Yep.
right?
Right.
Accountability.
Accountability, my
Were there
friend.
were there ever? And I'm just wondering, like, consequences. Like, did you feel badly if you didn't get your stuff done, or
No, we were gentle with each other, but I gotta say, we pretty much got it done. I don't think of anybody, if they said that they couldn't get it done, then they say, didn't do it this time, but this is when I'm planning on doing it.
And there was a
Right?
reason. Yeah, there was a legitimate reason. There was no lashings.
There was no lashings. But I think the thing is that we didn't want to disappoint each other, right? So we did it. I mean, I'm telling you, it freaking worked.
It's like almost having someone to go to the gym with. Like, I gotta get up because that person's showing up. Like an hour, 2 hours, like
2 hours, 2 hours.
2 hours.
I mean,
At least. And sometimes you did like the spend the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's so
Our
cool.
homes are
And so did
longer.
you did this once a month, but when you did the peripheral stuff, was that a part of the once a month, or did you sometimes go and do stuff in addition to the once a month?
Well, we've done some stuff where, remember we went to Clear Lake, to your place, Clear Lake?
Yes,
We did
and-
outings for the weekend, or we'd stay the night at somebody's house, or
I
we,
gotta tell, this was the funniest part of Clear Lake. Oh my God. I think I had my 2 dogs, 1 or 2 of my dogs just brought, Joelle brought her dog.
Jess couldn't make it.
I didn't make it.
That's
yet.
right. That's right. So we're sitting, I think it was like Joelle and Toni on the couch. I'm sitting on the floor around the coffee table. And I guess like I must have had, I bent over. I must have had like a little gap in between my shirt and my pants. And the next thing you know, and I'm like, something's wet. And I'm like something wet just went down my pants. Her dog walked by me, lifted his leg and peed on me.
It was Joelle's dog peed on her. Oh my
That little fucker peed on me.
He thought your cup was getting empty, so he was trying to help.
I'll never forget that shit. Seriously.
So that dog was so hyper that was back in the day where I used to enjoy running. So I go, I'm taking this dog for a run, right? To get it worn out, because it was hyper.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
boy.
that was fun. And we had Gus and oh my God, the dive bar.
Karaoke at the Chinese restaurant.
Oh yeah.
We had so much fun, but we did outings. Yes, we did do outings because you need that, right? You need some fun downtime and go hiking or we just do things. But for the most part, we would always center the cup club stuff. We would always do something with the cup club when we did do it. And that mattered. I got to tell you, it mattered so much to me. And I was so happy that it mattered to you guys as well.
Right.
It was like a perfect storm for
Right.
5 years. And then Jess moved to Idaho. And then Sue moved to Texas and I stayed here in California. And so we tried to do it. This was before we didn't really, did we do Facebook? I think we did Facebook video, right?
So you know what? You're going to laugh. I will have to send you, because I was going through my photos on this iPad and I don't put my photos on. I have all the goofy photos of the three of us in 2020 when we were playing with all the filters, like
Oh my
Orson,
God.
for this.
You're going to have to send them to me and I'll do a little video and I'll share it to the people.
I will, because I was looking at them today and I'm like, when was this?
I'll make
my
a
God,
clip on it.
2020.
I'll make a clip on it.
Hysterical. These are going to die.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
But I did want to say that I am writing about the Cup Club. It's not just about the journey and the story. I talk about how to do the vision board and the structure. I talk about the layout, the format of what you should do, how you keep each other accountable. I did all of that in my book, right?
Awesome.
So I am writing the book. And I just need to, obviously I've never written a book before, but I put this thing together that if somebody wanted to really know how to do it, this book would do it.
I love that.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Because it mattered to me. It just, when I did write the book, I relived it all. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, like I wish we could do it again. And with these people, right? Us do it, and we could possibly do it again. Who knows? Never know.
Virtual.
Yeah, virtually. Exactly. Because everybody lives in different
virtual
states.
PJs, pigtails, and pillow fights.
Yeah.
All right,
Definitely.
Queens. Shout out time. We're going to have
Yes.
each one of us go around the table and name one woman right now sitting at your table who lifts you up and reminds you of your worth. Doesn't have to be famous, just fierce. Who wants to go first?
I've been doing a lot of talking, so I'll let Jess go first.
I'll go first. I would
Go ahead,
say
Em.
it's my friend Christy. She's known me since second grade, just lifts me up when I am doubting myself. And she's super inspirational and never judgmental. And yeah,
I love it.
Awesome.
Suey.
Me? Okay. I'm going to say my friend Ashley, who I just spent this past long weekend with and then 2 weeks with in France. She's my younger friend up in Missouri. We've been friends for just 4 years, but after spending like 2 full weeks, every waking moment together, she's always so positive. She thinks I'm funny, so she laughs at my jokes, so she makes me feel good. We just have this like sister relationship, and I just love her to death. And I love how she tries to keep everything so positive, even during stressful times. And we have so much fun together. We just laugh. And that, you have to be able to laugh. We laugh at ourselves a lot too, which is awesome. I'll say my friend
Love it.
Ashley.
Awesome. For me, first of all, aside from all the queens sitting at the table, because I love you guys. There's this girl I met when I worked at Live Action. This is like 3 years ago. I met her. She was a partner in the field. And then when I left Live Action, I went to a company called Gigamon, and she was a seller there. And I got to tell you, I'm still connected with her. She is a true mother. She's a woman that loves her mother and puts her mom on a throne. But she is a woman on a throne because she is a good leader. She is a warrior of a woman because she's one person. I feel like I'm a strong person. And then there's times where I feel like, I need a little advice. She's one that I would go to and say, give me advice. I need this, I need that. She always has leadership advice, great leadership advice. Sandra, I love you, my girl. You're my sister. You're my friend. And I'm calling you out because you're amazing.
We love it.
Aw, love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to keep mine brief because I have two, and I'm bringing these two up because they are both going through some health crises in their families, and they are just amazing, amazing women. So Amber Gutierrez, Jen Bear, thinking positive thoughts for you and your families. I love you both. I'm sure you're going to be on the show at some point. And so we'll get to delve in more about how amazing you two queens are, but just thinking about you both right now.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
That's awesome.
Jean.
Okay, so that's a wrap on our Cup Club reunion. We got to have more of these, right?
Yeah.
Huge thanks to my co-hosts, Toni and Sue, for always bringing the heart. And to our special guest, Jessica, for reminding us why
Yeah.
sisterhood matters.
Thank you for
if you're
having me.
listening- If you're listening and you don't have your Cup Club yet, maybe it's time to start one. Grab your girls, pour a drink, make some space for real connection. Until next time, keep your table sacred and your sass unapologetic. And before we go, I'm going to have Toni just follow up with our next teaser Sure.
We're going to have an episode 6. It's going to be, my niece is pregnant for the first time. She's going to be she's a Gen Z mommy, and she has a good friend that's also pregnant with twins. And she's going to be a Gen Z mommy. My niece and I were talking on Mother's Day, and we were celebrating Mother's Day, and I was celebrating her as a soon-to-be mommy. And we were talking, and I thought, hey, we should do an episode to get the Gen Z. We're Gen X's, right? Cheese, you and I as mommies. Gen X, the way we brought up our kids and talk about motherhood. And then our parents were boomers, right? How we could bring the generations together. So love to do that. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll get them on the show and get the youngins talking, and we'll give them some advice.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome.
Well, until that time, thanks you guys for joining us. What's up? Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys. See you next time. That's the tea from the OG Cup Club. Now go start your own table. Just bring the realness. Follow us and we'll show you how.